As most of you know, my 4 siblings and I created the Donna M. Crandall Foundation 16 years ago, inspired by the passing of my wife, Donna. Many people look for ways to honor and remember loved ones, and foundations are often created for this purpose. Few people recognize the long-term time commitment and energy necessary to sustain a charitable organization. I know that we didn't. There is no doubt in my mind that we wouldn't have continued without the inspiration of 2 special groups of people. The first group is made up of the hundreds of friends that have come on this journey with us, especially all of you that support our Emerald Eve Gala. The second group is the amazing patients and families that have taught us so much about finding joy every day when life gives them lemons. Tonight we would like to remember one amazing person who left an enduring mark on everything we have accomplished. Dawn McGinnis saw that 5 people and their families had a vision but no experience running a charitable foundation. She jumped right in and helped wherever she could. Using her skills and background in public relations, she helped us to take on a more professional image, coordinating the creation of our logo and LL Bean tote bags. Dawn was a talented writer and shared that gift with us. She wrote our newsletters, programs, and press releases. She helped develop the concept for our annual videos and Emerald Eve themes. She even chose this year's invitation. Dawn helped us to identify which renovation projects at Albany Med would mean the most to patients. She also loved to recommend ideas for our annual summer surprise and new additions to our gift bags. All of her suggestions made the Donna Crandall Foundation what it is today. Dawn McGinnis left her permanent imprint not only on our foundation, but on the hearts of all who knew her.
For me, she was courageous, and I think that would be the most important thing I would want people to know about her. I think she hid that very well, although you can imagine with what she had to go through, she was courageous, but it was courage beyond what I think most of us know.
She had so much heart, she had so much honesty, and she cared so much about other people. That's really the thing that sticks out the most to me about Dawn, is she just cared about everybody else.
Dawn was a very giving person. She just touched us. I didn't even think of her as a patient anymore. It was more like she was part of my family.
She was talking about Facebook one day and about how she had to stay positive because she had so many people following her on Facebook. So even when she was having a bad day, she was posting uplifting comments and really thinking about the people following her.
Dawn was a really special person. She was followed by Dr. Berdella, who was a pediatrician, and when she turned 21, she probably should have went on to be cared for by an adult doctor like me. But she was so special to Dr. Berdella, she really wouldn't let her go.
She was sick and spent so many days in the hospital, and all she kept thinking about was the beach, because she loved being at the beach and she loved her dog. So we were able to actually get her back to the beach to be with Daisy. And the minute she got there, she sent us a picture of her sitting on the beach with the dog with a big smile on her face. Whenever I think of her that way.
Sometimes as a nurse practitioner, you have to have really tough conversations with patients, and Dawn made it easy, but they were still really tough conversations. I remember there was one in particular when we were talking, and it was towards the end of her life, and it was a tough conversation, and her best friend Lisa was there, and I was there, and at the end of the conversation, I went to leave the room, and she called me back over and she said, "Michelle, I just want to thank you. I know that was really hard for you, and you did a really good job, and I want to thank you." And that's just how she was.
Dawn was an eloquent speaker and waited all year with excitement to share her CF story with the incoming first-year class at Albany Medical College. Last summer, she wondered if she should do her annual speech. She was concerned that with her declining health, her message might not be right for the excitement that came with the first day of med school. She struggled with whether or not she'd be relevant, or would these young people just see her as a middle-aged woman spouting off about her disease? But on August 6, 2015, you could have heard a pin drop in Empie 400 when Dawn McGinnis delivered her last lecture. There was hearty laughter and quiet tears, but her lecture that day was all about hope and the need never to strip it away. Dawn paused every day to write a simple note for something she was grateful for. She kept these daily reminders in her glass gratitude jar, dumping them out on New Year's Eve to remember and to be thankful. Weeks after her final lecture, the class of 2019 presented Dawn with their own version of Dawn's gratitude jar. Hundreds of students sent her notes, inspired by her courage, optimism, and sense of humor. The letters captured the sentiments of not only this last group of students, but the hundreds of students who were so privileged to share the first day of med school with my friend.
Dear Dawn, good morning, or afternoon, or night, depending on when you're reading this. I truly believe that once we are no longer of this earth, we live on in the lives we have touched and in the hearts we have expanded by giving of ourselves. And if the way I felt when I stepped out of the room that first day is any indication, you have touched those you do not know hundreds, if not thousands of times over. If you could impact strangers that way, I can only imagine how lucky those close to you are. Please know how thankful I am that you took the precious time out of your day to come speak with us. Best wishes, Michelle Urman.
Her impact on our medical school was, and the students there was huge. And I don't think many people realize that. She was always happy, always upbeat, always positive, and that just blew my mind.
I saw someone who was just happy with her life and happy with where she was, even though she might not be happy about her disease and about, she was showing us all the medications that she had to take, but I didn't see some middle-aged woman. I saw a person.
Donna McGinnis was my friend. I got to shovel her driveway and walk her dog Daisy when she wasn't feeling well. I got to see how hard it was some days to live with CF, but Donna was always smiling in spite of all of her challenges and setbacks. On the Daisy unit at Beth Israel, Dawn was able to stay in a room that looked more like a hotel than a hospital. She always wished her fellow CFers in Albany could recuperate in a similar space. Just before she passed away, we were able to tell her that Albany Med had agreed to let us build a space similar to the Daisy unit, and that we were going to call them Dawn's Rooms. Dawn was happy about the news and immediately started a list of must-haves and even emailing us pictures she thought would look great in the rooms. In honor of my friend, and to get the fundraising off the ground for Dawn's Rooms, I helped my mom come up with the lemonade challenge. Dawn loved the saying, when life hands you lemons, you can choose to be bitter or you can choose to make lemonade. She treasured a party with those she loved, so we asked people to host a simple gathering of friends and family where lemonade was served and a humble donation jar was found. The response was unbelievable. There were also lots of other events held this year to raise money for Dawn's Rooms. We're getting closer every day to making Dawn's wish come true, and with your support tonight, it will happen.
I've always thought when we go on vacation, we try to get the best room, a room that faces the water, right? Those are the best rooms to have on vacation. When you're sick and you're trying to get better, trying to fight for your life, why would you want anything less? You'd want a place that's pretty with flowers. It gives you, an optimistic sense of well-being, and that's what 3 Days Inn is. It's a healing place that improves your spirits. It gives you a better outlook on what you're dealing with. And I think everybody should have that.
She really was part of our Daisy and 3 family. She really made the staff aware of what it was like to be a CF patient. And there's nothing Dawn would like better than to have this space and to know that for her, sort of spending so much time here will actually translate into creating spaces like this for Albany, which was her home. And I think that that's worth all of what you're doing.
We all like to donate money and we hear that it goes to good causes, but to have Dawn's Rooms is living proof that what you're doing to raise money is actually getting right to the patient and to what they need.
Dawn greeted every day with a contagious smile and a positive outlook. She felt truly blessed to have one more day, and she never wasted a moment. Fiercely independent, Dawn never wanted special attention or treatment. She chose not to be angry or resentful, but rather she focused on the positives, the random acts of kindness shown to her by her family and friends, and the joy it brought her to reciprocate. She had a wonderful sense of humor and a kind and compassionate approach to life. Dawn had her pulse on what CF patients needed. She vetted every project or program the foundation provided. Her insight and awareness made the foundation more productive. Dawn's courage, kindness, and thoughtfulness as she faced this disease head-on will always inspire us. On behalf of my family, thank you, Dawn, for your time and talent, for your wisdom and advice, for your love and friendship. We are grateful you agreed to take part in this amazing journey and want you to know my family and our foundation is certainly better because we knew you.
I would tell any parent who, and I have told parents who are dealing with a newly diagnosed baby, maybe a newborn, that they should never stop dreaming for that child. I think that as long as you tell someone that anything is possible, that they'll believe it, and that's how they'll live their lives. I think that, and I think that's true for people with CF with all the advances that are made. I would also want parents to know that, while they're younger and they're maybe taking care of their child as they grow, that there are fabulous people out there who will become our spouses and our friends, and who will, we're just blessed because people who will help us in our effort to stay healthy. And now I'm lucky I have a husband who does for me the things my parents used to do, and that's an important part of our relationship and our life together.
People come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a
Dawn and I had a thing about lemons. She gave me hundreds of gifts and cards that included them. And every day, she would also send me a lemon emoji. It was her way of telling me she was okay. I was pretty sad when I realized that our daily ritual was over. My husband was at a loss for words, and he tried everything to cheer me up. I told him I wished I knew that she was okay. Then he looked out the window and said, "You are never gonna believe this." On that very day, in my backyard, my tulips had decided to bloom. Hundreds of pink tulips had been planted that fall, but now, 2 days after her passing, there stood one lone yellow tulip in a sea of pink. I am confident that my friend wanted us all to know that she was definitely okay.
have been changed.